All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most fundamental, but also one of the most important things you can do in the world of crypto, sending and receiving digital assets. Now, I know it might seem a little intimidating at first, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how it all works. Let's get started.
Think about that for a second. It's a really powerful question, isn't it? The answer gets right to the heart of what makes this technology such a potential game changer. We're not talking about waiting days for a wire transfer to clear. No, this is a totally new way to move value. And today, you're going to see exactly how it's done.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about your crypto wallet. Then we're going to dive deep into the most critical concept of all, public versus private keys. After that, we'll look at how transactions actually get confirmed on the network. We'll even walk through a step-by-step guide to sending crypto, and we'll wrap it all up with the single most important rule for keeping your assets safe.
Okay, first things first. Before you can send or receive anything, you need a crypto wallet. You can think of it as your digital vault, sure, but as you're about to see, it works in a way that's pretty different from the leather wallet you might have in your pocket.
So at its core, a crypto wallet is really just a piece of software, or sometimes hardware, that's built around two incredibly important pieces of information. These are your public key and your private key. Literally everything you do in crypto, sending, receiving, storing, it all comes down to how these two keys work together. Now, listen up. If you only remember one single thing from this entire explainer, please make it this next part. Getting the difference between your public and private keys is absolutely 100% essential for keeping your crypto safe.
The best way to think about this is with a really simple analogy. Your public key, it's kind of like your email address or your bank account number. It's an address you can and should share with anyone who wants to send you crypto. It's perfectly safe. Your private key, on the other hand, well, that's like your ATM pin. It's the secret that proves you own the funds and gives you the power to actually spend them.
And let's be super clear about what's at stake here. This is nothing like a password you can just reset. The moment someone else gets your private key, they have total control of your funds. It's over. There's no bank you can call, no fraud department to help you. In this world, you are in complete control, which also means you have complete responsibility.
And this brings us to another crucial point. You have to keep a secure, protected backup of your private key, because if you lose it, it's gone for good. All the funds that are secured by that key will be lost forever. There is no forgot password button. It's a pretty harsh reality of being your own bank, but it's also fundamental to how the whole system stays secure.
Okay, so you get the keys. Now, what's actually happening behind the scenes after you hit that send button in your wallet? This is where the real magic of a decentralized network kicks in.
See, with crypto, there's no single company, no central bank that processes your transaction. Instead, when you send crypto, your wallet just broadcasts the details out to this massive global network of independent computers. We usually call these computers nodes, and they all work together to keep the network running and validate every single transaction.
So let's trace the journey, right? First, your wallet broadcasts the transaction out to the network. Second, all those nodes around the world start validating it, basically checking to make sure you actually have the funds to send. Third, the network reaches what's called consensus, which is just a fancy way of saying they all agree that your transaction is legit. And once that happens, boom, it's permanently added to the public ledger, the blockchain.
That moment of agreement is called consensus. You can almost think of it like a digital vote, where thousands of computers all raise their hands and say, yep, this transaction looks good to me. Once that consensus is reached, your transaction is locked in. It's finalized, and the change of ownership is recorded on that public ledger for anyone in the world to see. That's the power of blockchain transparency.
All right, enough with the theory, let's get practical. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps for sending a transaction, and you'll see, it's actually pretty straightforward once you know what you're looking for.
But hang on, before we even start, here is the biggest, most important pro tip you will ever get. Double and then triple check the recipient's address. I'm serious. Unlike a bank transfer, you cannot reverse a crypto transaction. If you send it to the wrong address, that money is just gone forever. So check it once, check it twice, and then, you know what, check it one more time.
Okay, let's walk through this using Ethereum as an example. So first, you open your wallet and unlock it with your password. Easy enough. Second, you paste the recipient's address into that Send To field. Third, pick the asset you're sending and type in the amount. Fourth, you'll need to review the transaction fee. We'll talk about that next. And finally, if everything looks correct, you just hit confirm. That's it.
So what's the deal with that transaction fee? Well, on a network like Ethereum, we call it a gas fee. And no, this isn't a fee that goes to your wallet company. It's actually a small payment that goes to the people running those nodes we talked about, as a little reward for doing the computer work to validate your transaction. This fee can also change. It gets higher when the network is super busy, kind of like surge pricing on a ride-sharing app.
Now, once you hit confirm, you're not quite done yet. Your wallet will probably show the transaction status as pending. All that means is it's been sent out and it's waiting for the network to do its thing, to validate it and reach that consensus. Once that's all done, the status will flip to confirmed and the funds will officially be in the other person's wallet.
Phew, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? Keys, wallets, networks, fees. But let's boil it all down to the single most important principle you need to know to stay safe in this new financial world. So let's do a quick recap. What are the big takeaways? 1. Your wallet is controlled by your keys. 2. Your public key is for receiving crypto, your private key is for sending it. 3. A decentralized network validates every transaction, not some bank. And finally, and I can't say this enough, you have to always double-check that recipient address, because these transactions are irreversible.
And all of that brings us to the one single golden rule. Never, ever, under any circumstances, share your private key. This is what all those phishing scams are trying to get. You might get a message from a fake support agent or click on a sketchy link asking for it, but a legitimate service will never ask you for it. It is the only key to your vault. Protect it like your life depends on it.
So, now you know the mechanics. You know how to make a peer-to-peer transaction that can zip across the globe in minutes. The how is pretty clear. But the bigger question, and the one I want to leave you with, is about the what's. What does a financial system that's truly built on this kind of instant, transparent, and user-controlled technology actually look like? That's something we're thinking about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.